Welcome. Well, you're at home with Jim and Joy, and you are an important part of our EWTN family. And we're so delighted that you've welcomed us into your home. We would love to hear from you. So if you have an email, you'd like to send us a question or a comment, just send us an email to jimandjoy@ewtn.com or reach us on Twitter, twitter.com/Jim and Joy Pinto. Well, first I want to thank everyone from EWTN who made all the marches, One Life LA, Walk for Life out in San Francisco, the March for Life in Washington, D.C., our crews that worked here and there and everywhere.
Very well said.
Outstanding work. We are personally, we're supporters of EWTN. We've always have been, even before we worked here. I was so proud of EWTN. Yes. I mean, I was screaming proud especially when we were watching the March for Life in Washington, D.C., and the president came out. I screamed and I thanked God. We have been in the pro-life work over 30 years, longer than that, a long time. And I just felt blessed. I felt encouraged. I felt like, yes, I felt like heaven, that it mattered from heaven's point of view, that our nation, that we as a country, as a nation, our leader was saying that we will defend the culture of life. And I was blessed. It was so beautiful.
You had the vice president and so many representatives and rank and file people, and you know, out of sight, out of mind, in sight, in mind. And EWTN keeps this critical issue, this critical reality of the sanctity and dignity of every human being front and center. And all together, we will build a new culture of life.
Yes.
Now, we had our Birmingham March as well.
We did.
On the 18th. And people braved kind of cold weather.
It was rain and cold.
But we were out there and sharing, and so many others shared with us and went for our march. Beforehand, we had a beautiful mass at the cathedral that was just about packed out. And this always goes together, you know, that everything starts from your knees, from the knees to the streets. Everything starts with the Holy Eucharist. Jesus himself, life himself, to partake of life himself, and then to take that life out into the streets and everywhere you go. Bishop Baker was at our local march.
Yes.
And then he went to the national march. And here's a guy who's 75 years old who's coming to the conclusion of being Bishop of Birmingham. What energy to do that. And you spoke, and several other people spoke, and it was really wonderful. And we want to hear from you today through email. And if you could just share with us, what was your impression? What moved you? What touched you as you watched the coverage with EWTN, or you participated in a local march or local walk, or you went to the City Hall or wherever you might be, or you visited Crisis Pregnancy Center? What was the impression that you had about what was going on locally and nationally?
Yeah, well, we had a great turnout in Birmingham, and that was very exciting. It was raining and nasty, but the rain stopped.
And so many local marches in different cities.
There was local marches all over the country, and being down in the trenches of the movement as we are and running the Pregnancy Medical Center, it was encouraging. It was like, yes, and it is. You can go to the marches, but then we all have to go home. And when we go home, what are we doing with our pro-lifeness? How are you getting involved? How are you letting your light shine? How are you giving maybe your treasure? Where's your money going? Where's your heart going? What is your body doing to defend the culture of life 365 days out of the year?
I can't say anything else. You just covered that.
Well, we just got to keep on keeping on.
And so, what do we do now? What do we do every day? And I want to recommend optionline.org, optionline.org. It lists there all the pregnancy medical centers throughout the country, thousands of them. All you got to do is put in your zip code. If you're in need, if you're considering abortion, you know, somebody who's had an abortion who needs healing, go to optionline.org. But also you can find all the pregnancy centers, so you can say, maybe I want to volunteer. Maybe I want to give post-abortion healing. So we'll be right back. There's plenty more to come. And like I said earlier, we are winning this battle. We will build a new culture of life in America and throughout the world. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Welcome back. Well, today we're talking about the pro-life movement. The march last Friday in Washington, the walk in San Francisco, and all of the local marches that are spreading across the country. They are catching fire from coast to coast. Now, on the phone, we have Dr. Donald DeMarco with us. He is the Professor Emeritus of Philosophy at St. Jerome's University in Waterloo, Ontario, and he is the author of a book called Apostles of the Culture of Life. And we would like to welcome Dr. DeMarco to At Home with Jim and Joy.
Dr. DeMarco, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, well, listen, it is wonderful to have you. Decade after decade, you've been faithful. You, in my opinion, you are an apostle of the culture of life.
Well, thank you.
You and your
Very
family,
happy
thank you
to
for
be
your
here.
Thank you for your years of
service. It's
service.
easier to write about apostles than to be one.
Yes, well, I believe you are one. And when I was working with Priests for Life years back with Father Frank Pavone, it was required reading to read your book on the architects of the culture of death. Architects of the culture of death. I've enjoyed reading this book much more, Apostles of the Culture of Life.
Yes.
But you're an author of, I guess, over 30 books, and you've done such a great
34.
service to the movement. So just share with us a little bit about the book and why the book, and just share with us about some of these apostles, the different categories they fall into. So just go right ahead.
Well, what do they have in common? What do all of these apostles have in common? Well, there are 61 of them altogether that I profiled. And I would say very briefly they have 5 things in common. They have a great respect for life. Life without prejudice, life for all living beings. Secondly, they have a great deal of courage because they're going against a fierce opposition, especially from the media. The media has its own values, and celebrity has replaced character, success outshines sanctity, sensationalism seems to eclipse virtue. So they're going up against a great deal of opposition, which requires courage. Thirdly, they have a great deal of patience. They have a very broad view of things, whereas their opposition is more concerned about immediacy, the moment, convenience, get things done right away. They lack this broad view. So respect for life, courage, patience, and I would say they're all heroes. They're part of a war, a kind of culture war between the culture of death, the culture of life. And it's very difficult to win a war without heroes who go that extra mile. And finally, I would say that they are beacons of light. So the book is not only about life, but it's about light, the basis for the pro-life position, the basis for the culture of life.
Well, Dr. DeMarco, why did you use the word apostle to characterize the people that you selected?
Well, I think they're walking in the footsteps of the original 12 apostles. They have an important message that reaches out to everyone in the 4 corners of the world. And it's a message of such importance, the dignity of life, the dignity of all human beings, that they are willing to suffer for it. Life is a great blessing. If we don't have life, we don't have anything. So this is a very basic and important message, and therefore these apostles are willing to suffer for it, and they do suffer. I think these characters, all 61 of them, they're very inspirational, not only because of their heroic character, but because of their intelligence and the illumination that they provide of the moral position of abortion.
Doctor, can you share with us, who these individuals represent beyond themselves, different categories or philosophies or ways of thinking, and who do they represent?
Well, contrary to what some people think, they don't represent a narrow group. They're certainly not fanatics. They're not uninformed. They're not single-issue people. They represent a wide range of people. In the book, we have men and women, Catholics, non-Catholics, people who are living, people who have deceased. They are from France, Australia, Switzerland, Israel, Germany, Poland, Austria, Italy, Canada, Israel, Albania, England, and Spain, and even other countries. So it's a very broad group of people. And they represent the worlds of science, philosophy, theology, literature, music, sports, politics, the entertainment industry. I think this is diversity in the best sense because it's diversity with unity. There are no conflicting members here. It's like inclusivity without conflict. So it's a very, very broad group of people. And it's interesting that no matter where they come from and what their field is, they're all united in this great love for life and this great defense of the dignity of life.
Dr. DeMarco, we just have a few seconds left. What is your hope for this book for our pro-life people in this day and age? What do you hope this book does for us?
Well, I hope people will read it. Judy Brown, president of Life League, says that if you've read this book and it hasn't changed your mind, you should read it again. I suppose, like any, let's say, musician, he wants to be believed. He wants to be able to communicate something of importance that people will understand and accept. This is the greatest concern I think we have in our present society, to defend the dignity of life. And I think President Trump did a wonderful job at the March for Life, pointing out how important life is, and really it's all we have.
Doctor, thank you so much for being with us. It's been a great privilege to share with you. This book I recommend to everyone. It's been a joy for us to read it through. We are indeed inspired and equipped to do the work of the ministry more fully. God bless you, sir. Thank you again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Yeah. Beautiful. I mean, and as in the book, the 61 apostles that he selected, you know, they're from all over the world. And I really believe in my heart that as America goes, so the world will go with abortion. That if we put an end to abortion in our lifetime, that, you know, we are one of the 5 countries in all the world that with the no restrictions on abortions. I mean, we're up there with Korea and China and Canada. It's just awful. That's a group of countries you don't want to be in line with when it comes to the culture of death. Yeah. And but I believe, you know, that as America goes on the issue of abortion, the world will follow. So it really is important what we do, and equipping to hear these are ordinary people doing an extraordinary work, and they need to be courageous. They need to have patience because this is a marathon, and you got to run. You can't grow weary. When you grow weary, go to the sideline, get refreshed and renewed, and they get right back in the race.
Well, we're sharing today about your impressions, about your involvement in a march or in a walk or some pro-life involvement, or maybe you just watched EWTN. We have Monica Mayer here with us today, EWTN's California Marketing Manager. Monica, welcome to At Home with Jim and Joy. Your thoughts?
Thank you, Jim. How are you?
We're doing fine, and even better that you're calling us.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you very much for having me.
Well, how are things going for you out there in California? That's your base. Were you involved with the One Life LA, Walk for Life, or what are your impressions about the pro-life movement at this hour?
Well, it was, both of the work were amazing, as always. I had the blessing to be 1 week ago in the One Life LA with thousands of people. This year, they were they say between 15,000 and 25,000 people were there gathering in Los Angeles. And it was beautiful to, you know, work with them and then have the opportunity to share with many of the people who attended to the One Life LA.
Yes.
Perfect. And then you got to go to the San Francisco Walk for Life?
Yes, I did. I was there this last Saturday. And something that impressed me a lot this year, I didn't see that last year. It was the presence of a lot of youth people, but especially the presence of youth vocations, religious vocations. Like I had the opportunity to see many seminarians, many sisters, just working for life, and a lot of young families, just they're representing us and trying to do this good fight we're doing every day, like you were saying before, Joy, because we need to do this fight not just one time a year, but every day. We need to show the beauty of the life of those unborn, but also of those who are disabled, because this culture of death that we live in these days are, trying to tell us that those people who are disabled are not worth it. And as you may know, I have a special need daughter that is going to be 15 years old in March. She has cerebral palsy, and it was beautiful how my family went with me to the One Life LA,
yes.
and how people were embracing the life of those who are disabled
yes.
as well.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, we've always known that the pro-life message is from womb to tomb, but more and more the legal threats against people with special needs, special conditions, the elderly, the ill, and so now we've got to speak this as all different pieces of one cloth, the cloth of the gospel of life. Monica, thank you so much for being with us today. Thank you for your witness to the gospel of life, your marriage, your family, and for sharing with us today. God bless you, sister.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Well, she's doing a great job out there in California as a marketing manager out there. She does a great job with the media missionaries. We got a bunch of EWTN media missionaries. If you're not a media missionary, we would like to have you with us as well. She's doing a great job out there. I think we have another call.
Okay, so we have Daniel McCormick, who is the Director of Religious Ed for the Diocese of Birmingham. Daniel, welcome to At Home with Jim and Joy. Some of your questions and your comments.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Jim and Joy. I was asked by Jim to reflect on some of our experience at our local March for Life here in Birmingham. I've had the pleasure these last couple of years to bring a team of local youth ministers and youth for diocese. This year we had about 50 or 60 with us to the local March for Life. We had a time beforehand where our Assistant Director of Vocation, Father Josh Altanji, celebrated a special youth Mass for Life. We had some formation opportunities with Father Jim Hederman, who talked on the theme of welcoming the stranger. And so we welcome the stranger, the newborn in the womb, but also those around us who are in search of belonging and a home. And we had some testimony from Guadalupana sisters here in our diocese and from some lay people. It was a beautiful day. We're very thankful to be a part of it.
Great. Thank you.
Daniel, thank you so much for all that you do and for your reflections and helping us to understand how we can implement the pro-life movement in our own communities. Thank you, brother.
Well, I'm thankful to work with you. Thank you for your witness and leadership.
Thank you.
Well, it was so wonderful to see Daniel come to the march with all those youth surrounded him. And it's such an opportunity to disciple and to mentor and to raise up another generation, is to say, this is the civil rights issue of our day. We all fantasize about what would have been like if you were alive during the civil rights movement. Would you have been a marcher? What would you have done? Would you have been there? Would you have stand with your African American brothers and sisters? Well, are you standing with your African American brothers and sisters today? Because they are being targeted by abortion. The Hispanic community is being targeted by abortion. So we have to say, we're going to stand up, we're going to show up, and we're going to be there 365 days out of the year.
Amen. So be encouraged. There are more who are for us than against us, and we are seeking to be on the side of God. We don't even say God's on our side. We're on his side. The Lord of life. And life is coming again. And life is here now. And life will prevail. You be encouraged. We'll be right back. Plenty more to come. Please don't go away.
welcome back. Well, before we wrap up today's great show, we're going to go to Rome to check in with Joan Lewis. Now, Joan, the U.S. Bishops Pro-Life Committee has a new initiative coming out, don't they?
Well, hi, Jim and Joy, and it's always a joy to be with you. You both know that very well. But for me, in some way in particular today, because I feel like I'm still breathing the exhilarating air of that wonderful March for Life in Washington last week. And we're still pondering the pro-life remarks by President Trump in Washington and right here in Rome by Vice President Mike Pence. And I certainly hope that you saw them, saw the interview that EWTN did with the Vice President. I interviewed Archbishop Joseph Naumann. He was in Rome on his ad limina visit, and of course he heads the U.S. Bishops Committee, the Pro-Life Committee. Now, among the many exciting things he told me was an initiative of the bishops, a year-long initiative, an adventure, if you will, that will begin March 25th of this year, last until March 25th next year, March 25th, of course, the Feast of the Annunciation. This is going to be an event to mark the 25th anniversary of Pope John Paul's beautiful Evangelium Vitae. Now, this initiative is entitled Walking with Moms in Need, a Year of Service. And Bishop Naumann told me that the bishops know in America, in their dioceses, in their parishes, that there are women who are facing unwanted or challenging pregnancies and that they need help, and the dioceses and the parishes should be there to help them. And he also told me that in his November 2019 remarks to all the bishops, he said he stressed the need for improved pastoral responses to women facing unexpected or challenging pregnancies. The challenges, he told the bishops, can be immense for women in difficult or unplanned pregnancies. 75% of women who choose abortion are low income. So Laura's proposal to help financially makes a lot of sense. And by the way, Archbishop Naumann also told me of the 3-hour visit that all the bishops had with the Holy Father, and of the issues that they talked about, of course, included pro-life, and that Pope Francis said that protecting the unborn must be the preeminent issue for the faithful. So I say at this point, let's join this army of wonderful people, the known, the unknown, who fight all year long behind closed doors or in public to protect life. So we have to thank every one of them. Time's up here. Back to you.
Joan, thank you so much for those encouraging words and to hear more momentum from our bishops moving forward, new pro-life initiatives. And I'm thinking of St. John Paul II. As we think about so much death in the throwaway society and the threats not only upon the preborn but the aged and those with special needs, and we go on and on and on, the death could just bring us down. But John Paul said, you remember that we are an Easter people. We are a people of the resurrection. And Alleluia is our song. And so we must be clear about the victory. That even though there are these terrible battles and skirmishes, that Jesus Christ has won the victory. He is life itself. He is life himself. And he is coming again to be the judge of the living and the dead. So let's all do our part in this movement. One-on-one, different ministries that we have, those that have been directly involved in abortion, you can become some of the most eloquent spokespersons on behalf of the gospel of life, because those who have forgiven much, love much. There is a place for everyone in this movement. Keep it on EWTN. We're building a new culture of life. You're an important part of this family. You're always at home with Jim and with Joy. Bye now.